how you receive love can be a strength and a weakness. Hi everyone, welcome to Standing Tall with Lorato. This week we are doing part 2 of last week's video that talked about love languages. So we are doing part 2, why you feel unloved. I gave you guys a challenge last week to go back home in this time of self-quarantine to get to know your loved ones more intimately and to get to know what makes them feel loved, and for them to also learn what makes you feel loved. So I hope in this time you've been checking up on your loved ones and you've been really spending a lot of time with your loved ones. Because if there's one thing that coronavirus has given us, amongst all the ugliest things that it has given us, is time. It's time to know yourself, it's time to know your loved ones, and it's time to love hard and to serve each other.
I think as the kids are getting older, I'm getting to learn about the love language. It's not easy because I think as a parent you try to kind of raise all your kids together thinking, okay, this is what parents do, and eventually I'm actually seeing that it takes time to learn each child. It's very important because they are individuals at the end of the day, so it is a work in progress, definitely.
Okay, and what's the love language of one of your kids and how are you meeting it?
Definitely my second born, I would say, is love. You know, he likes touch, love, say, mommy, I love you, he's always under my arm. You know, he wants to be reaffirmed. So I've noticed that my second born and my last are very affectionate, very love. They want love, they want touch, they want to be told and things like that.
Okay.
And yeah, so I've actually, like I said, as they grow older, you get to see, this one is like this one is like that. So it's, yeah, so I think it's important to be aware of it. It's very important, because you kind of miss the caption, and so just definitely be aware and alert of it. It's very important.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
This is a time to fill each other's love tanks. What makes your love tank full? Dr. Gary Chapman says that one's love tank becomes most full when they feel extraordinarily loved. What makes you extraordinarily loved? I know, for example, for me, when someone spends a lot of time with me and gives me undivided attention, I feel my cup, my tank being full. And if someone gives me tells me like the most sweetest words, like two of my friends, I had like one of those weeks, one of those hectic weeks, and two of my friends sent me the most sweetest messages, and I remember just melting, because second love language for me is words of affirmation, and therefore my cup, my tank just overflew from there. And I also know, as I've already said in the previous video, if you've watched it, you would see that my little sister's love tank is filled by quality time. And yesterday I was with a friend and I realized that, hey, it's getting late. So I rushed home to come and spend time with her and just watch movies with her, because Friday nights is kind of our tradition. We watch movies and spend some time together. And at the end of the night, because also quality time is what fills my love tank, mine was full. It was overflowing. And I hope that hers was also overflowing. But it's very important that you know what overflows someone's love tank.
So there's a couple of things that fill my love tank, obviously, but one of them, because I'm a quality time person, it's just uninterrupted time with those I love, having conversations and just spending uninterrupted time with people is something that always, for me, really fills my love tank. So it's not necessarily with someone doing something and being with me, but it's really just uninterrupted, phones down, and paying attention to the here and the now. So that really filled my love tank. I think that's my primary one. And then we play around with acts of service and gifts.
I think each and every one of us has an ability to love, but you gotta love right. I cannot stress hard enough how important it is to love someone the way they receive love. Imagine going through your whole life, giving your blood and sweat into a relationship or a friendship, and someone walks away saying you never loved them. Wouldn't that break you?
Like, especially in times of stress, and in times of stress, I think mostly where it's just I'm so stressed out and someone takes a load off my shoulders, or even just decides to help me a little bit. So I think an example of that one I'd give is that it would be acts of service. So yesterday I was looking for my watch everywhere in the house. I couldn't remember where I put it. And I was just thinking about how, oh my gosh, if I don't charge my watch, so I know the Fitbit watches, if I don't charge my watch, then how am I gonna use it the next day? And so because it had been misplaced, I couldn't charge it that night. So just last night. And then this morning, I'm looking for it again, only to find that my dad found it wherever I put it, and he put on the charger for me. And so I really found that sweet, and that's an act of service. The fact that he considered that, you know what, she probably wants a charge, so let me charge mine and then I'll charge hers. And so I come to my watch that I had misplaced the previous night, and then I felt like I'd need for today, to find that it's charged and ready for me to use. So that fills my love tank, you know. So things like that, little things that are just thoughtful. So that's actually a very good idea. That's a very good example of what fills my love tank. So yeah, that's me.
Just because your love tank fills up on gifts doesn't mean that when you buy the next person gifts, they will feel loved. Maybe all they need is for you to spend time with them for their tank to overflow. So if someone is a touch person, is a physical touch person, touch them. If someone is a quality time person, spend time with them. If someone is a gift person, then buy them something. If someone is a words of affirmation person, then say nice things to them, affirm them. If someone is a works of service person, then do something for them. Just fill someone's love tank the way they feel loved. If you do the opposite, someone's love tank can just easily become emptier and empty every single day. And this ends up in friendships becoming very bitter. People end up being resentful to one another, and it just becomes ugly. Sometimes love has to do with sacrifice. Love is a beautiful thing, but sometimes you need to be self-sacrificial to do this life successfully. I had a falling out with someone I considered a friend once, and it was quite heartbreaking when I learned why. She used to buy me like gifts and give me things every now and then, and I, on the other hand, I don't value gifts that much, so I didn't have the means, first of all, to reciprocate that, but I didn't also think that it was a big deal. So because I didn't have the means, I compensated that by spending so much time with her. And I remember that I also would affirm her so much. Like when I recognized little things about her, I would really affirm that and make her understand that, you know, you are great and all of that. But it just turns out that in that relationship, I felt unfulfilled and she felt unfulfilled. So both of our love tanks were empty. They were getting emptier by the day because we were not giving each other's love languages much attention. So I loved her the way I want to be loved, and she loved me the way she wanted to be loved. She's a gift person and a works of service person, and me, on the other hand, I am a quality time person, and I'm also a words of affirmation person. So I had to learn after this relationship had ended that in actual fact we loved each other, but we were just loving each other wrong. And it's such a heartbreaking thing to know that friendships can break in that way. And I know a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships, even mother-child relationships have been broken for the very same reasons. The moral of the story is, when you keep loving someone the way they receive love, you keep their cup, their tank overflowing. If you do the opposite, you are drowning them. So, in this coming week and for eternity, let us strive to keep each other's tank overflowing. Remember, you still have a chance to rectify things. You are loved, you are capable of love, and you deserve to be loved. Have an amazing week ahead. I love you.